And welcome everyone to another edition of 90.9 WJAB's Yo Just Checking In. I'm your host, Marcus Sims. We are powered by 90.9 FM. We're also powered by WJAB.org and WJAB TV. And of course, not only is April Jazz Appreciation Month, it's also National Poetry Month, but it's also National Financial Literacy Month. And what we want to do this month was to put an emphasis on you securing the bag this for 2022. We want you to secure the bag and live your best life. And we've got two guests that are going to help us achieve that and much, much more. We're going to talk financial tips. We're going to see what got them into the financial coaching, advice game, and much, much more. So we want to welcome to 90.9 FM, Sarah and Lorenzo to Yo Just Checking In. Guys, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. So good to catch up with you. Of course, I know you guys more from the old days of old Casa Montego.
Yeah.
And I do want to say this. Please pass on to your family that I'm missing the fish soup.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's actually a very strong hint, also. But we won't get into all that. I'll let you read between the lines on what I just said about that one. But guys, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
Let's get right to it. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to ask my guests, because we know the past 2 to 3 years has been a total shift in what's been going on in the world financially. And of course, COVID-19, the pandemic, played a huge role in how we do things now. Any other time we would have you in the studio, sitting across from me talking, but now we're using a little thing called Zoom. Guys, how did COVID-19 affect you and the family, and how are you guys doing?
Well, so far, I'm happy COVID-19 did happen. Is that crazy? Because of COVID-19, everything just stopped. So that gave us the opportunity to sit down and readjust what we were doing. So we kind of readjust our goals. So to make it better for us, because at first, we were just going with the motion, but COVID-19 just opened our eyes. We're like, okay, what if? Because we weren't sure how long COVID-19 was going to last, if it was going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years, if we were going to go back to work, if the kids were going to go back to school. So I just wanted to make sure if something like this ever happened again, we wanted to make sure if something like this ever happened again, that we would be okay. So we just, like we said, sat down and just set our goals.
Awesome. Now, guys, tell us a little bit about yourself. Lorenzo, we'll start off with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
I am an IT professional by trade. We are now entrepreneurs as far as investments are concerned. We're real estate investors. I've been in the IT field somewhere around 25 years. And like you said, transitioning into the COVID, it kind of changed things. So we had to give it a new method. But for us, we're high school sweethearts. We've been married 26 years. We are going to be celebrating an anniversary here in a few days on the 20th. And we've got 4 children who are also entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs now. And again, things are great right now. It wasn't always that way, but things are great right now.
Awesome. Okay, congratulations. Early congratulations to you guys. By the time this airs, you guys would have already celebrated. So congratulations either way it goes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now let's jump right into it. Now, of course, Lorenzo and Sarah, I followed you both from the great and cool videos that I see on social media. And I will say this, I'm learning something all the time. The posts that are coming out, they're very educational. And I'm hoping everyone that's checking you guys out, especially, I'm going to say on Instagram is where I see it the most, and also on Facebook. But I'm sure you guys are on other forms of social media. But I think it's really interesting what you guys do as far as giving out financial tips and advice and education. But what led let me ask you this. First and foremost, why is financial education and literacy important in our community?
In our community specifically, we're losing with financial literacy, period. And it's the game leveler. The black dollar represents over 1.3 trillion in spending power, but the black household in general is losing wealth every year. And that's because of a lack of financial understanding. The moment we start to learn how money works, we level the playing ground. There are enough obstacles out there for us. We already know that as Black and brown people going through this country and navigating the financial woes, etc. But not having an understanding of how money works and how money can work for you, it puts us at a disadvantage, because the average time that the Black dollar spends in the Black community is less than 6 hours, which in comparison to our counterparts can last up to several weeks before it leaves their community. So what does that say? We're losing when it comes to financial literacy and what we're doing with our money.
Wow. So that's one of the key things I know you guys seem to address or like to bring up during these presentations that I see online, is making sure that we strengthen what goes on in our communities and how you invest, what you spend your money on, and the things that and how you wisely navigate the financial trade. Because it's like anything else, if you're not educated right, you can make some bad decisions, and there is a way that you can strengthen your dollar even in this tough time, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are a lot of ways that we can, because the dollar itself, I've heard it mentioned in a number of circles when it comes to financial literacy that it's become trash. Why do they say that? Because we're looking at 7.9% inflation. But last year, the US printed over $9 trillion worth of money. So what does that tell you about the dollar? The dollar is losing value. And what little value it has in terms of being in the Black household, we're losing that because we're spending it faster than we can get it. So we've got to get a hold of our spending and understanding that assets over liabilities. We've got to start buying assets that make us more money instead of buying liabilities that lose dollars.
Now, let me ask you guys, what led you guys to decide to start getting involved, to start dropping these financial gems on social media? Because you can just keep it to yourself and not help empower other folks in our community, or in this case, worldwide, with what you're doing on social media. What made you start spreading this information or giving this information out to people, especially using the social media platforms?
Okay, well, we saw a need and we filled it. In school, we're not taught, as an educator myself, we're not taught about anything with financial literacy, any of those things. So we saw that there's a need that, including our own children, watching the way they spend money. And because it's not taught in school, we felt a need that we need to be the one to go out into social media. Everybody's on social media from all ages. So it's the perfect opportunity to go out there and educate these young children and adults, of course. And so now they'll know how to utilize their money.
So, and that's one of the key things also, because I remember honestly coming up, especially through high school, through college, simple things that we just did not know. And, you got the job, but did you know how to set up a bank account, how to set up a savings account, how to properly write that check? At that age, did I need a credit card? Did I need a debit card and all that? And I think that's so cool what you guys do, how you present the information, because not to fault any family members or any parents or anything like that, but sometimes the same way we need the education in our social studies, our math, our science, we also need a solid background in finances, correct?
Absolutely. We learn money from home as opposed to in institutions where it might be, formalized. And the lessons that we learn are often just what they learned. And it's never been based on any real factual numbers or methodology. So what we've done is taken our lessons, and where we've been able to win, we've taken that to the folks and helped them out. And when we saw that those folks were learning and growing from it, we figured there are other people that can learn and grow from it, because helping other folks and sharing the information never stopped us from getting money. And that's something that is a big issue in our Black community as far as sharing information.
Now, let me ask you guys this, and this is for both of you. Give us, what is a financial tip, a lesson that your family, maybe your mother, maybe your father passed on to you that you practice now? And Sarah, we'll start with you.
Okay, mine was, you need to own something in America. And I remember my parents always saying that. They always owned their property. And they said, you are nothing if you own nothing in the United States of America. So because of that, I always, even like after college, I was like, I want to buy a home. I want to follow their lead because they bought homes. And I've done that because of what they've said and instilled in me.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, what about you? What was a piece of advice that your mom and dad passed on to you about financial responsibility?
I think the biggest thing that they taught us was to live within our means and not try to keep up with the Joneses, because 9 times out of 10, they're broke or in debt as well. So being able to live within our means and being comfortable with our situation until we got to where we wanted to be allowed us to try to not overspend and overextend ourselves to put us in a situation of danger.
Wow, true. Now, one of the things I noticed I've seen Lorenzo, you talk about on social media is cryptocurrency. Now, let me say this. I'll be honest. Maybe I need to go to YouTube and get a beginner's guide to cryptocurrency or whatever. And we're not selling or endorsing it. You do whatever you want with your money. But we want you to, once again, to secure the bag. So who knows where cryptocurrency takes us? But you have discussed that before on social media. For those out there who don't know, talk to us a few moments about cryptocurrency.
So cryptocurrency, and the best way to break this down is it's digital money. The world is changing as you know it. Everybody knows we're moving to social media. Everything is becoming digitized and automated. There are jobs being changed over, et cetera, moving to automation. So is currency. So is money. We're on that. I liken it to like the .com phase when we had the .coms booming. This is what we have going on with digital currency. Right now, it is not regulated by any particular government. However, it is going to be. And because we know this is going to happen, this is the best time to get on board with it. So essentially, again, it's digital money. And I can go into a long diatribe about it, but I'm not going to do that. I would say that if you don't know about it, you hit the nail on the head. Google it, understand it, so that you have an understanding. Because once you do you only need a general understanding of how it works so that you can start looking to do investments and start investing in it. It's not very difficult. I know it sounds very, what's the word? A lot of folks are scared about it because it does sound far-fetched, but in reality, this is where we're going. Digital money is going to be the wave of the future. And those who get on board now are going to benefit extremely.
I guess you can kind of think of it like a credit card, because you can't touch the actual money, but if you swipe it, the money is going to be there.
Yeah.
So I guess that would probably be something easier for someone that's trying to understand it.
Yeah.
So think of it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe right now the name too. Maybe it's just the name cryptocurrency. Maybe they just use something like digital money or online money or something like that. I think maybe that would help also. Sometimes it's the selling of it, like cryptocurrency.
Right. It just sounds crazy. But when you hear cryptocurrency, just think digital money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you tell us, okay, so while we're on that real quickly, is one, as far as since you know something about maybe one positive, one negative about cryptocurrency, if you can think of any?
So the positive about cryptocurrency is we know for certain, especially since the government just spoke on it, it's not going away. That's a positive. It's not going away. The negative is right now it is very volatile. What does that mean? Today it could be up 100%, tomorrow it could be down 100%. So it's very volatile. It'll go up and down. So that's a negative when it comes to wanting to invest in it, because you hear a lot of popular coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Shiba. Their popularity is what creates how much they're worth today. But once they are regulated, it'll be something that you can invest in tomorrow and hopefully put together a portfolio that'll make sure you have a nice cushion retirement.
Cool. Well, we are here talking with the first family of financial advice and financial coaching here on 90.9 WJB's Yo Just Checking In. Of course, April is National Financial Literacy Month. And what we want you to do, at least for these next few moments, hopefully you're taking some notes, you're learning a few things, and I'm sure the Wrights will agree with me. We want you to secure the bag for 2022 for you and your family. So that's what we're hoping that is going to happen for you this year. Guys, let me ask you, we're here on the campus of Alabama A&M. That's where we're based. Can each one of you give us one tip that you'd like to give a college student? Like I said, when I got here on the college campus, you know, that financial aid check just meant the world to me. Like, bam, that little check was everything. And that will, and you can't use my idea, but what is, let's address a college student. What would be one of the things that you'd want them to know?
I'm gonna go first on that one. Okay, I would say protect your credit. A lot of us, when we go to college, the first thing, you know, if you're on campus, you have like these credit card companies right there to give you some money, and you keep swiping and you don't pay on time and your credit falls. When you get out of college and you're trying to buy that car or trying to buy that home and your credit is not to par, you won't get that car you want to drive or the house you really want to be in. So protect your credit at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Lorenzo,
and I would say, piggybacking on that, set up a 5 to 10 year plan. Have an idea of where you want to go. Have an idea of where you want to be, because as you're navigating through college, and once you get finished with college, you graduate, you start looking in that job market. If you know where you want to be in 5 to 10 years, no matter what's going on in your life, you're going to be able to navigate to that. Think of it like using GPS. You might detour based on things that are going on in life, but if you have an idea of where you want to be, you're always going to reach that destination.
True. What are some misconceptions or just some myths that you see within our community that we do that's a mistake financially, or some things that you would probably caution somebody that we do in our community? Like, I mean, is it maybe the pennies or change we keep under the bed in the jar or something? Or I don't know, they need change right now. They're saying they need, so that might not be a bad idea, but what are some myths of things that we do in our community that you'd like to debunk right now while you have the stage?
Saving, putting your money in a savings account. Putting your money in they tell you to save. So when you retire, you're gonna be all right. Let me tell you something. Saving your money in a savings account is one of the worst things you can do to your money. You know, if your money is not moving, and this goes back to financial literacy, if your money's not moving and not working for you, you're losing money. So when you put your money in a savings account in the bank, they're giving you 0.0001%, which is like a penny, less than a penny on every dollar. If you put that money into a CD, an IRA, a mutual fund, an ETF, and I know some of this sounds foreign, but you got to learn this, which is why financial literacy is so important. If you put your money into these things, they're going to give you a lot better return, so that your money is actually growing as you're moving along in a way that's going to make you comfortable when you reach 50 and 60 years old.
Sarah, what about you?
I mean, he just said the whole thing. I'm like, thank you.
Okay.
Let me see. Maybe it would be that some people say you shouldn't buy a home, because we're all about the home investment, because they're like, buying a home is like throwing your money away. You're better off renting. And I think that's incorrect, because if you can afford to rent and pay somebody else's rent, you can afford to buy your own home and pay your own mortgage. So I hear a lot of that in the Black community. It's like, why buy a home? You know, there's, you have to worry about like taking care of the home where you can just rent. Yeah, but you don't get anything from it. You buy a home and you decide to sell, you're making money. So why wouldn't you buy a home?
Yeah, true. And it's one of the things I think about all the time, is how, I guess, how you choose to invest certain things, whatever, because I'm one of those guys, as Lorenzo said earlier, live within your means. Like, that 7 days a week, you can't afford that gourmet coffee plus a Danish, and those things add up, right? And so then you wonder, in 2 weeks, why the bank account's looking kind of weak. Living within your means. I think that's one of the key things that you said, and that's actually something that I personally try to follow my life is, look, living within your means, knowing how much you can. Hey, treat yourself. You know,
Right.
I don't think you need 4 pairs of those athletic shoes. You can get by with one, I'm sure, right? You don't need.
You want to be all right. Want to be all right.
Right. I mean, treat yourself, but also, as you said, live within your means and kind of knowing what you have in your bank account. And that helps also, I would think, with financial literacy, knowing if you have $500, maybe you shouldn't buy those $600 shoes, right? You know,
budgeting. That's a big deal.
Mhm.
Budgeting. You got to know your budget.
And that's another good thing is like set your budget,
Set a
like write
budget.
down everything that you owe and write down how much it costs so you can see where your money is going. And sometimes when we did our budget, we realized certain things that we really didn't need. And that was it. So we just deleted it. And then we're able to put that money back in our pocket and put it somewhere else.
Right. Absolutely.
guys, as we're starting to wrap everything up, would you can you recommend any like websites or books or magazines for our listeners or viewers right now to check out? As we said, it's Financial Literacy Month, and we want them to continue this throughout the year to continue to learn how to strengthen themselves. I've learned a lot within this these moments that we've been talking. Any books or magazines or websites that you would recommend that they check out?
I would say simple, easy reading that will break down financial literacy in a way that you can understand it. One of the best books by far, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And you can find that in all book outlets. And it really breaks down how money works to an extent and how you can set up your scenario to move forward so that you're financially sound later on in life. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other one is Who Moved My Cheese? That one was good.
Yeah, Who Moved My Cheese is a great one. And the premise is it's simple reading, but the premise is, a lot of us get stuck in a rut. We're doing the same mundane things every day, and when it's time, when the season tells you it's time to move, you decide you're going to sit still. And this book gives you a premise that says you might want to look for your cheese elsewhere. So Who Moved My Cheese? It changed our lives. I can tell you that much.
Wow. Okay. So definitely check those books out and continue to educate yourself about financial literacy. Now, last but not least, Lorenzo, I got to ask, how did Soulja win the 2022 Grammy for Best Reggae Album? Now, you guys got to address that. How did Soulja,
listen,
over Etana and all those great Gramps, Morgan, explain that to me.
Listen, I had to get past the shock first, and as an artist myself, I was irritated, but I'm not going to take away from Soulja because they put they did their craft. They learned the genre, they put out their music, but Jamaicans in general, when it comes to Jamaican music, we have gotten away from our roots, the roots that folks have been using, and copying and sampling to make their music because it's such a unique vibe that comes from the island. And we've gotten away from that, trying to go towards the mainstream and catch up with the mainstream folks so that we can be on the American charts and the world charts. And we've lost that little niche that we had that made us, that unique sound. Because everybody knows when you hear reggae, you hear somebody sample it, they sample some reggae and everybody starts moving.
Right.
We've lost that, and we have to get back to that. And I know of a lot of artists who are now recognizing that and pushing that narrative that we need to get back to our grassroots and lay off of this hip hop sound and this pop sound and go back to our grassroots that made us the unique sound that we were.
Right, because I'll be honest, when I first I do the Roots box here for several years now, and the first thing I started to say is, have I ever played Soulja? Have I ever played? And then I gotta think, do I got any music from them? And I hate to say this, maybe I need to go get some music from Soulja because I really maybe they're a little better than what I thought. I just brought that up because on Twitter it was funny. I heard comments, of course, from our friends in Jamaica who didn't like the idea of Soulja winning. But of course, Beanie Man said something, and even Chronic spoke up on their behalf. And who knows? Maybe I will give Soulja a try.
A try.
Even though I thought Etana's album was awesome. I thought her promotional album.
Her album was fire, and and I'm not taking away from Soulja. They did their thing. We just need to get back to our roots.
True that, true that. Guys, once again, I want to thank you for joining me and talking financial advice and literacy this month. That's what April's all about. How can someone reach out to you? Once again, I know you guys are on Instagram, Facebook, and social media, but tell us the social media platforms and how they can contact and reach you.
Okay, we have a website. You can go to the rightway360.com, and the right is WRIGHT. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all platforms under the Right Way 360. So we made it easy for everybody to find us.
Yeah, the Right Way 360. And trust me, you're gonna enjoy the information that they're bringing. What I love so much is it encompasses the whole family, and there's a lot of transparency with what Sarah and Lorenzo put out there financially. Also, I think it's how they're educating not only us, their family, their children about making the right moves or some good and strong moves when it comes to financial literacy. And like I said, check them out on social media. You'll get a kick out of it. What I like is Lorenzo, when he does his updates, they're real quick. So you don't have to sit there and say, man, he's been talking 30 minutes. No, he's gonna, oh, there it goes, their logo right there. Wow. Right?
You saw it?
Yeah, you dropped it right. That's what I'm talking about.
You saw
it. So there we go. The Right Way 360. Check them out online, Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms. Sarah, say the website one more time.
The rightway360.com. And then once you go there, you can find us. All our platforms is going to be on there also.
Awesome. Well, guys, once again, thank you so much for giving us a few moments of your time here on 90.9 WJAB, WJAB TV, and of course, our website, WJAB.org. This has been another presentation of WJAB's Yo Just Checking In. I'm your host, Marcus Sims. And of course, April is Financial Literacy Month. So hopefully you learned something in this presentation. Lorenzo, tell your mom and dad, I need some of that fish soup ASAP.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Guys, thank you so much. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Us.